Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are tackling a seriously fascinating contrast in the precious metals industry. On one hand, you have this towering elite industry reputation. We're talking prestigious awards, literal decades of history, and massive volume. But on the exact same token, on the other hand, you have the unvarnished reality of actual customer reviews and Better Business Bureau complaints. So today, we are doing a deep dive review into Universal Coin and Bullion. We're going to look really closely at their fees, their operational model, and the real complaints from their buyers. Whether you're looking to secure your retirement or maybe start a Railcoin collection, this is absolutely crucial information you need to hear. And by the way, if you are looking to secure that retirement, make sure you get your free Gold IRA guide from the description below or just head over to goldirablueprint.com. Okay, let's get into it. Here's a quick roadmap for our explainer today. 1. Evaluating dealers. 2. Meet UCB. 3. The expert behind UCB. 4. Pricing and transparency. 5. Customer complaints. And finally, number 6, is UCB right for you? Let's jump to step 1.
Section 1. Evaluating precious metal dealers.
Now, when you step into the precious metals market, you really have to know exactly what kind of buyer you are, because honestly, that dictates what kind of dealer you actually need. It's like a giant puzzle. On the left side of the market, you have dealers like JM Bullion. Their entire business model is built around pure cost efficiency. They cater to what the industry calls stackers. These are everyday investors who just want standard gold and silver bars or coins at the absolute lowest possible premium over the spot market price. They literally just want the metal, pure and simple. But then you have companies like Apimax and Universal Coin Bullion. They are playing a totally different game. Their focus is heavily tilted toward rare coins, collectibles, and long-term numismatic value. Because these coins have deep historical significance and extreme rarity, they carry much, much higher premiums. So you aren't just paying for the gold itself, you are paying for the history, the legacy, and the graded condition of that specific coin.
Section 2. Meet Universal Coin and Bullion.
So let's look at the impressive footprint they've built out of Beaumont, Texas. $2.6 billion. Let that sink in for a second. That is the staggering volume of business Universal Coin and Bullion has transacted since they were founded way back in 1994. Actually, scratch that. It's more than just a big number, it's a massive indicator of market trust. This isn't some fly-by-night operation working out of somebody's garage. This is a highly entrenched, massive player in the tangible asset space. They specialize in rare United States coins, gold and silver bullion, and specialized IRA diversification strategies. And to process $2.6 billion in transactions, you obviously need serious reach. UCB has served over 500,000 customers nationwide. That's enough people to fill several massive sports stadiums. And despite this massive volume of customers over 3 whole decades, they have remarkably maintained an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. They've even won the Friend of the BBB award locally down in Texas. But as you'll see a bit later in this explainer, an A+ rating doesn't necessarily mean a totally flawless customer experience every single time. Section 3. The expert behind UCB.
A major pillar of UCB's elite reputation isn't just their massive transaction volume. It's the very specific expertise driving the company. Meet Dr. Mike Fulgens. He is very frequently referred to in the industry as America's gold expert. And, well, his resume is frankly towering. He was the 2021 American Numismatic Association Dealer of the Year. Fast forward to 2023, he received the Chester L. Krause Distinguished Service Award, which, for those who might not know, is literally the highest honor the ANA bestows. It's a huge deal. He has won over 60 prestigious national and regional awards, including dozens from the Numismatic Literary Guild for his investment books and newsletters. Plus, he's a total heavyweight in counterfeit detection, literally consulting with the Federal Trade Commission, the U.S. Mint, and the Royal Canadian Mint. So the absolute crucial takeaway here is this. When UCB tells you a rare coin is authentic and graded properly, they're backing that claim up with some of the highest level expertise available anywhere in the country.
To authenticate all this rare inventory, professional numismatists use what's called the Sheldon grading scale, which goes all the way up to 70 points. A perfect, utterly flawless coin is an MS-70. And here is where it gets wild. Even a tiny, microscopic difference, something you can't even see with the naked eye, that drops a coin to an MS-69 or an MS-65 can drastically change its market value. UCB is an authorized dealer for the major grading services like PCGS and NGC. They heavily rely on these tamper-evident, sonically sealed plastic holders to guarantee a coin's exact condition. If you are buying from UCB, you need to understand that you are largely buying into this highly specialized and somewhat subjective grading ecosystem. Section 4. Pricing, Products, and Transparency. Okay, so we know they have the expertise, and we know they have the premium inventory. But what is it actually like to buy from them day to day? To get a real feel for the customer experience, let's look at the consensus from the investing community on Reddit, specifically the Gold IRA rollover subreddit. Reviewers point out some really great pros. UCB offers fantastic educational resources, obviously thanks to Dr. Fulgens's deep background, and they have excellent IRA-eligible products. By the way, if you want to learn more about setting those up, seriously, go grab your free Gold IRA guide from the description below or at goldirablueprint.com. It is super helpful. But looking back at the Reddit consensus, here are the major cons people bring up. UCB operates on a direct sales, phone-based model. You cannot just go to their website, see a live price, and click Add to Cart. You actually have to call them. This lack of upfront transparency causes real friction for modern buyers who are used to instant online shopping. Furthermore, because you're on the phone with a commissioned salesperson, there are consistent reports of high-pressure tactics, where representatives try to upsell buyers from standard low-premium bullion into those highly marked-up rare numismatic coins.
Section 5. Reviewing actual customer complaints.
So let's begin our investigative pivot into actual Better Business Bureau disputes to see exactly what happens when the premium rare coin market clashes with real-world customer expectations. Here is a classic mini-case study from April 2026. A customer filed a complaint stating they bought collector's coins because they were specifically told they cost more than their standard weight. But when the customer went to liquidate and sell them back just a short time later, they said they received pennies on the dollar. They were incredibly frustrated, right? They felt they had made a solid investment, but had gotten scammed because gold prices globally were up, but their personal return was way down. This right here is the ultimate danger of the numismatic market. You pay a massive premium upfront for the rarity of the coin, not just the metal content itself. But let's look closely at UCB's response to this, because it's super revealing. Because they do business over the phone, UCB actually records their verifications. So UCB pulled the audio logs for this dispute and showed that the customer explicitly acknowledged on tape that rare coins require a 5 to 10-year hold period to potentially realize a profit. They also acknowledged that selling in the short run of just a year or two almost always results in a loss because of those high dealer premiums we talked about. And this customer had held the coins for less than a year. However, and this is interesting, in a show of good faith to protect that precious A+ rating, UCB actually sent the customer a check for the exact amount he lost on the buyback and even offered a full refund on the remaining coins. Ultimately, the customer accepted that and closed the complaint. Let's look at another really complex dispute, this time driven by extreme market volatility. A customer ordered a silver item when the spot price involved was soaring around $115, but the product was delayed. The customer claims an employee called to say they couldn't get the silver at that time, so the customer agreed to just cancel the trade. Well, weeks later, the price plummeted to $77, and suddenly the customer got a notification that his silver had shipped and his card was charged at that original, much higher price of $115. Naturally, the customer was completely furious, calling it a total scam and accusing the sales rep of lying just to trap him in a terribly upside-down trade. So UCB investigated the situation. They pulled the phone transcripts again and found that during the delay, the customer was indeed given the option to cancel, but actually said on tape, and I quote, "Just don't bill me. When it comes in, bill me and then ship it to me." UCB literally had no record whatsoever of the second cancellation call the customer claimed had happened, so UCB was following the exact instructions on their audio recording. Still, acknowledging the really painful price drop the customer suffered while waiting for the product, UCB offered a full refund if the item was returned, and then just straight up mailed the customer a $200 courtesy check. Interestingly, the customer actually rejected this response, insisting the rep lied off record. But you have to admit, UCB's audio logs heavily supported their own actions here.
Now, what about pure operational errors? Here is a very serious complaint from February 2024. A customer alleged that UCB withdrew $989 from his checking account completely without his consent, claiming no order had ever even been placed. The customer claimed this was actually a repeat offense, citing a previous unauthorized charge a year prior, and went so far as to threaten to contact the criminal attorney general, stating this violated the Electronic Funds Transfer Act. That is a heavy accusation.
But once again, the audio logs tell a very different story. UCB responded by citing a recorded call from January 17th where the customer explicitly agreed to the $989 order, willingly provided his card information, and specifically requested that the charge be held until February 1st. UCB then processed it on February 2nd, exactly as requested. When the customer saw the charge and panicked, UCB immediately canceled the shipment and processed a full 100% refund. They also went ahead and placed the customer on their internal do not call list. The customer ultimately accepted the resolution, admitting he simply forgot to have them call him before processing the agreed-upon charge.
Section 6, is UCB right for you? So we have seen the prestigious awards, the billions in volume, and we've also seen the messy reality of human miscommunication and phone-based sales. Let's synthesize all of this. You have to ask yourself this critical question. Does the numismatic expertise of Dr. Mike Fulgens and his team outweigh the premium pricing and the lack of upfront click-to-buy transparency? If you highly value having an award-winning expert curate a portfolio of historically significant MS-70 graded coins, and you really don't mind getting on the phone to have a conversation and negotiate, UCB is an elite choice. Their educational resources are undeniably top tier. But if you just want to buy standard silver bars at the absolute lowest possible cost with a single click of your mouse, their model will absolutely frustrate you. And as a quick reminder, if you are looking to navigate this space for your retirement, definitely grab that free Gold IRA guide from the description below or visit goldirablueprint.com. So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on before you ever pick up the phone to call any dealer. You need to define your goals right now. Are you an investor looking strictly for the weight of the metal to hedge against inflation, or are you a collector looking to hold a tangible piece of history that might appreciate based on its sheer rarity? Your honest answer to that specific question will tell you exactly whether Universal Coin and Bullion belongs in your portfolio. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.